You start things with good intentions, a clear moment, a burst of energy. You open the document, reply to the email, begin the project, and then you stop. Not because you don't care, not because you're lazy, but because something pulls you away. Another task feels urgent. Another notification asks for attention. Another responsibility whispers, just 5 minutes. So you leave things halfway done. The tab stays open, the draft sits unsent. The idea remains outlined but unfinished. And at first, it doesn't feel like a problem. You tell yourself you'll come back to it. Later, tonight, tomorrow. But later quietly becomes a pile. A pile of almosts, almost finished, almost good enough, almost there. Each half-finished task carries a small weight. Not heavy on its own, but together they press on your mind. They follow you when you rest. They sit with you when you scroll. They show up when you try to relax. Because unfinished things don't stay silent. They hum in the background. They remind you of what's still waiting. You feel busy, constantly busy, yet strangely unaccomplished. Your days are full, but your sense of completion is empty. You move from one thing to the next, never fully closing the loop, never fully exhaling. And over time, half-finishing becomes a habit. You stop expecting closure. You stop trusting yourself to finish. You lower the bar from done to started. Not because you lack ability, but because you're overwhelmed. Because finishing requires focus. And focus is hard when everything feels urgent. Because finishing means facing imperfection. It means deciding this is enough, and that can feel scary. So you keep things open, just in case. Just in case you improve it later. Just in case you fail if you finalize it. But unfinished tasks steal more energy than finished ones. They live rent-free in your thoughts. They fragment your attention. They turn simple rest into mental noise. And slowly, you begin to feel behind, even when you've been working all day. Here's the truth no one says out loud. Half-finishing is often a sign of exhaustion, not indiscipline. It's the brain saying, I'm stretched too thin. It's the heart saying, I need space to breathe. You weren't meant to carry everything at once. You weren't meant to juggle infinite tabs, mentally or digitally. Completion doesn't require perfection. It requires permission. Permission to stop tweaking. Permission to send it. Permission to say, this is done for today. Sometimes finishing one small thing does more for your peace than starting 10 new ones. So choose one open loop, just one. Close it. Not beautifully. Not perfectly, just honestly. Let yourself feel what it's like to complete something. To put it down. To rest without it tugging at you. Because you don't need to do more. You need fewer unfinished things asking for pieces of you long after the day is over. And slowly, with each small ending, your mind learns again what relief feels like.